Hi, today I want to talk about how to invest in shaky times. You see, the Bible says that once again there will be a shaking so that only the things of God can remain. We see there's shakings, there's storms, there's hurricanes, there's fires. In this world, there is trouble. But when we invest in a relationship with God, He will deliver us from all the trouble. So, the number one thing we should invest in is our time with God in the days we live. The second thing is we should have some canned goods. Yes, that's right. If anything ever happens, we don't want to be spending time running after toilet paper in the store. We want to be with Jesus in our prayer closet, asking Him what to do. We don't want to have an immediate need. And I'm not saying store up for months and months and months, just so that you don't have an immediate problem, you and your family. God will guide us. Perfect love casts out fear. The third thing, have a little bit of God's money. In the Bible, it says Jeremiah purchased land with silver. We likewise should have some of God's money, because if the world's money fails, then we'll have something to work with. Beloved, silver, gold, something like that. We don't need to stock up on it. Just have some in a direct emergency. In the Bible, man's wealth was his cattle and his stock, his sheep and goats, and today we have people that we know that have chickens, and we need to have relationship connections, because if we need some chicken eggs or something like that, it's always important to know people who are doing these things. And that leads me to the next thing. What talent do you have? How can you serve and bless others with your abilities? God blessed me to invest in houses and property, and to turn them around and have them rented out or fixed up. It's a talent that God gave me to serve people. What is your ability? Is it leadership? Lead. Is it giving? Then give. Is it helps? Then help. Invest in these things, and God will bless you. Invest in prayer time, seeking God and asking Him for wisdom. For years, I've asked God for wisdom, and when we follow God and are investing in what He tells us to invest in, the people around us, and the things that God has for us, it's all for God's glory. You see, God has a good plan for a harvest in all the shakings in when the world's economy is failing. And the last thing, invest in the gospel. The gospel is the most important thing. It's the good news. Are we investing our time on social media, soaking up all the bad news, the doom and gloom? If you're feeding your heart and your spirit these things, you will be troubled. If you're feeding yourself more of the bad news, that is not a good thing. Feed on the gospel, the good news of what Jesus did for you and me, so that when we are the light of Jesus, people will see the gospel in us, the good news. That's where the harvest will flow. Beloved, you are loved. God bless you all as you invest in more time with Jesus.